wrote a paper about our favorite animation, and now we're going to make just a graphical representation of our paper. And we're going to use this as a template here. This is provided in the description of the assignment. We're going to have a background image. We're going to have the title of the animation, and then we're going to have these boxes that kind of pop out with drop shadows and outlines, and they're going to have the summary plot, characters, favorite part, and locations. And let's just go ahead and get into it. Let's go File, New, and we're going to make sure we set this to inches, and we're going to set our it's going to be a little different than the template in that we're making it 11 inches wide and 17 inches wide and 11 inches tall, and we're going to make this 300. Okay, and that's we have paper like that can be printed on. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at what it would look like on this size here. Okay, so let's take a look. What do we need? We have the 5 boxes. So we have a layers palette. We can see we have multiple layers and stuff. Let's just set this up real quick. Okay, so in the layers palette, which is over here, you can simply click this button here to make a new layer. Okay, and this background layer, we can double click it to unlock it. Just hit, I'll call it background, and hit OK. And then we've got this layer here. Okay, so the background, that's where we're going to kind of, right there we'll copy and paste an image. The animation that we're going to work with for this tutorial is Cars. You're going to pick your own favorite one. And so we'll go ahead and get any image for the background. I'm just going to work quickly. I'd probably rearrange all this stuff and pick different images as you know, if I had more time. But by the way, when you click an image and then you click it again, it will give you the bigger version of it oftentimes. But you can go ahead and right click, say copy image, and we're going to go ahead and go into Photoshop here and paste. So edit paste. And to resize this, I'm going to push Command T on the keyboard. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and enlarge this, and that's going to be my background image. If I double click or hit enter on the keyboard, I can do that. Now I can get out of that transform mode. So now I can hit the opacity. I'm going to fade this out really lightly, maybe even more. So I'm going to make the opacity down to like 20%. That's going to be like a background image, just kind of faded in the background here. Okay, and now let's go to this layer here, and we'll call this, I don't know, box 1. Box 1. Okay, and you could you could do this a lot of different ways. You can use this rectangle tool if you want. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this. I'm going to go ahead and just make a box about, I don't know, yay big, and I am going to use the paint bucket right now. And my paint bucket is, where's my paint bucket? It's right here. Okay, you might have yours by default looking like this gradient tool. Then you hold the mouse down on it and change it to paint bucket. And there you go, dropped white paint into that. And I had a drop shadow, which I use this effects button down here. So I'm going to go ahead and say drop shadow, which is right there. And you can affect the size and play around with all these things here. And while you're in there, you can put click this right here. Stroke gives you the outline, and you could change the size of that if you want, and you could change it if it's on the inside or outside, and go ahead and hit OK. Okay, now you can hold the Option key on your keyboard and drag this, and it will duplicate the layer. And it's right on top of since it duplicated it, well, let me get out of this rectangular mode for a second. So just to get out of that rectangular selection tool, just click anywhere on the screen. And then I'm going to take this arrow tool right here, this navigation tool, and you see I have 2 layers, but where is the other one? It's actually just underneath there. So I'm going to do that. Okay, now I'm going to hold Option again and actually just drag this right here on the stage, and watch my layers. It made yet another layer. Let me pull my layers palette up bigger so you can see that I have copies of that box. And let me show you yet another way of doing this. Let's say you want different shaped boxes instead of the same. I'm going to make a new layer. I will go back to, or let me just show you another technique. Maybe take this rectangle tool and I'll just draw a rectangle. Okay, and you have the fill color here and you have the stroke color here. You could make this, why isn't it going up? Let's see. Make sure it's black. Is it black? And let's change that up to, like, say 4. Okay, it just needs to be a lot bigger, I suppose. Okay, so you got to play with the numbers. Let's go 16, whatever. Okay, and then so you have this rectangle here, and you'll notice on the layer it looks a little different. And I'm going to actually watch it. I'm going to hold the Option key again and drag the effects up to the rectangle, and it will actually duplicate the effects from, it copied the effects from this layer, applied it to that layer. So now I could take this and let's say Command T, and want to just change the shape of it, I can. I think I need to hold Shift on mine to make it not be to scale. So let's just say I wanted to add a different shape there and kind of rearrange these. With this tool here, you could actually click different items and move them separately. Okay, and then I needed 5, right? So let's get one more box. Let's do it yet one more way. I'm going to click to the top layer, hit here, and I'm just going to do it like this. Put the white in there, and I'm going to hold Option and drag the effects up there. Okay, so now we had plot and summary, which are very similar, I suppose, and characters, favorite part, locations. You know, if you want to change one of these to, you know, music, something like that, let's do that. Okay, so now I could take the T tool and let's write the word plot here. Plot, and you can decide what font you want, and oh, if you notice, here's the color. I'm just going to pick black for the color, and I needed to highlight it all before I picked the color. I could pick it up here as well, black, and you can change the font size. Let's go to 48, make it really big. Okay, and you could put it there, you could put it inside here, however you want to do it. Okay, now you'll notice that I have this thing called title company logo. By the way, in these squares, in a moment we're gonna put images in here, probably on the second tutorial. But the title or company logo, we're gonna go ahead and get that real quick. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna type in Cars movie logo. And let me go ahead and, that's the company and the logo. So I'm going to copy that. Copy image. Come in here and let's just paste, edit, paste. And there it is. And I'm going to enlarge it. Oops. Command T. And I am going to remove this, all the white around it. I'm going to take this magic wand, click here, push delete. So I selected all the white and push delete. And then I'm going to just add a drop shadow to that layer. Just a drop shadow. Okay? Make it stand out a little bit, okay? And then, so it would be a lot more interesting if, and maybe I could put the word plot there. Now I'm really using the tool where I hold the Option key on the keyboard, hold that down, and if you drag, you can do this and go characters. Okay, and then I'm gonna hold Option again, and what are some of the other ones we had? We had favorite part, locations. I don't know, let's go favorite part. And if that font is way too big, you can highlight your text and change the size if it looks better like that. You know, favorite part. And then you're going to type some descriptions over here. So you're going to write the plot. You're going to describe the plot, and I'm just writing gibberish here. You actually write a description of the plot, and you can real quickly play around with the paragraph format here. So you want it if you want it aligned left, and I think you could go window. There's character, and so if you go to character, you can hit paragraph, and you can have these paragraph options. If you look at my paragraph, it's kind of changing around. Okay, and the character, you could like change the spacing in between the sentences. Watch this. If I highlight all the text here, whoops, I did not highlight it. Sometimes that happens. I actually dragged the new text box. Get rid of that. So let's just change the height between the words. You can see they're getting scrunched up and pushed apart further. So you can play around with that to get the look and feel that you want. Okay? And now finally, I'm going to put some images behind the text. So essentially, instead of white, we'll have images. So we're going to go ahead and let's just say for characters, I find a nice image with a bunch of characters. How about this? So I'm going to go Control-click and copy image. And for the characters, I'm going to click right on that layer. I'm going to paste. And if you noticed, it pasted behind. I'm holding the arrow key on my keyboard, and I'm actually holding the shift key with it as well. Now I can grab that, and I'm going to go Command-T and enlarge this, and I'm going to basically just cut it down to fit into that shape. And so I'm going to use this selection tool, and I'm going to select the top of this and push delete. I'm going to select, you don't have to have all of the characters in there. So I'm going to just kind of cut it like this, and so you kind of, you know, get the idea that there's posters, and you could take your time. And now, so here's something neat. So we have this, take this selection tool and uncheck that. Now you have this, all these effects. Watch when I drag, without holding Option this time, I'm just going to drag effects to this layer above it, and it put the drop shadow and the effects on the image. And then I'm just going to actually turn this box off. Oops, wrong one. This box. Okay, so I've basically replaced that box with a box with images on it. Okay, pretty good. And you might need to find a font color that will stand out over this. So you'll find that maybe the font should be white on top of that darker background. And maybe that still doesn't stand out, and you need to add a drop shadow to the text, perhaps. Let's see. It's okay. It's okay. It's not that great. Not that great. Okay, but we want to play around with this stuff. Now, maybe we want to put the text below it, take the drop shadow off, and got a customer knocking at the door. So I'm going to pause the video right here, and I'll clean this up in the next tutorial. Okay, have fun making that.